You can see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. Uh, uh, I've just named this session as introduction to business intelligence and giving an overview of Tableau. Uh, so already Dennis has done my introduction, but I had one slide on introducing myself. So I'll just quickly go through this. So, like my name is Anand Naidu. I'm born and brought up in Mumbai. I've done my Bachelor of Engineering in Electronics and Telecommunication. Uh, I have 12 years of experience in the IT industry, and currently I'm working on building healthcare products on cloud technologies like AWS, and using the containerization technologies like Kubernetes. I've also in the past I've worked on ETL tools like Informatica, DataStage, and BI tools like Tableau, Click, Spotfire, and I have some knowledge on programming knowledge of Python. So, and during my hobbies, like during when I'm not working, I like to learn new technologies, explore new places, watch documentaries, and know about the universe and God. So this is about me. So this is the agenda for today's session. I'll be first explaining, like giving a very quick overview of what is business intelligence, what are the different steps involved in the business intelligence project, a quick introduction of what Tableau is, what is the architecture of Tableau, and then we will go into an hands-on creating a dashboard in the Tableau software. So since this meeting is recorded, I'll be explaining all the steps, like from where you have to download the Tableau, from where have I downloaded a sample data set, uh, and then at the last we'll have a Q&A session, like any questions anybody has, we can go through it. So this is what I have lined up. Any questions before I start?
I think
Okay,
we
I'll
don't
take it
have
as,
any. Yeah, you can
okay,
straight away start.
we'll
Thank
start
you.
then. So uh, essentially, like what is business intelligence? Okay, so uh, what this diagram is like generic to any business or any company. So every company has to have a business decision process. So earlier in when this business intelligence tool and all was not there in the market, it was people used to go by method one, which is like you have an intuition, you have a gut feeling, or you do a guesswork and you do make a decision and like go about it. But as the years have evolved, we have able to get data, and we have experience of what has happened in the past, and using that data and the past experience we can make informed decisions. So business intelligence is essentially improving this method too, like where you don't just rely on guesswork to make a decision, but you use the data that you have and all the past experiences and make informed decisions based on that. So that's like in a diagrammatic way. I just wanted to show that uh, you know uh, what is that, and essentially it was a term that was originally coined by the Gartner Group in 1993, and the exact definition of a business intelligence is it's a set of statistical techniques and process that helps the user analyze data and make meaningful decisions based on it. It can like involve specific software programs, or it can be done through Excel or a generic program. So this is like a standard definition of business intelligence that if you Google, you'll get it. But essentially, in a summary format, what it is uh, involving taking in raw data and then transforming that raw data into a meaningful insight. Some of the business intelligence questions, like these are some examples, like if you are in a company, in a retail company, like which customer should be offered discounts or coupon based on their spending patterns. If you are part of a banking sector, like which borrowers of a bank are likely to default. If you are planning to have a new store, what should be likely location of the new store or an office? Or if you are in a factory, which piece of equipment is likely to fail? Or if you are a college, like which student should be admitted to a graduate school? So like some of the examples of where business intelligence can be applied. And going forward, so these are generally the steps involved in business intelligence. So uh, like we have a 5-step process. So first step is always you gather the data uh, on what business you are trying to solve. You gather the data, then you have to do a cleansing of the data, because all the data that you get as a raw data will not be in the format that you want to use. So you will do some cleaning of the data, then you run some analysis on it. then what, after the analysis you get some output, you test those output, and then based on that output you make an informed decision. So this is like, no matter what choice of BI tool you use or you do your intelligence, these are all likely the steps that you will encounter. So these are generally the 5 steps that is there. uh, any questions so far? Am I going too fast or is it fine?
I think it is fine.
It's just fine.
Okay. Now, like these are the different BI tools in the market. So I've just categorized them as licensed BI tools and open source BI tools. So traditionally, like the on the one that you see on the left hand, the Tableau, SAP BO, TIBCO, Click, Power BI. So these are all the traditional companies that are there in the market, which gives you the BI tool to do your business intelligence. And then there are again open source tools as well available, which it gives you the flexibility, but then they are not scalable or they do not have that uh, flexibility and options that generally a licensed tool would give to you. So this just wanted to tell to the forum that these are generally the available options I use in the market, but today we'll be specifically checking on the Tableau software. So
And I think there
this
is a
is,
question
yep.
on the previous slide. So I just got this message in the chat. So that business intelligence project flow that you have showed in the previous slide. Yeah. So the question is
Uh-huh.
basically the first 2 steps are these ETL. Are they this gather data and cleaning data?
Yeah, those are ETL, you can say, or generally it- right now there are 2 ways of doing this. Today, people prefer doing the ELT approach, and there is an the ETL approach, which is extract, transform, and load, or you can do an ELT approach as well. You extract, you load, and then you transform. So basically, yeah, first 2 steps is generally on processing and doing that ETL transformation. Yeah.
Okay.
Shall I move forward?
Yeah, I think fine. Yeah.
Okay. So uh, I was saying, I was just giving in like what is the introduction to Tableau. So Tableau is it's a company which is like one of the most fastest growing data visualizations company in the business intelligence industry right now. The Tableau product suite generally consists of these 4 products. One is called as Tableau Desktop, Tableau Public, Tableau Online, and Tableau Server. Uh, there's one more fifth. It's called as Tableau Reader, but I'm not taking it here because that's very rarely used. Uh, so generally, what Tableau desktop is like, it is a software that you have to install on your machine, and then you can build your visualizations using that software. So Tableau can connect to like a lot of data sources. As I will show in the demo, like it has various data sources that you can connect to. Uh, then the Tableau server is specifically where you are publishing your the dashboards that you have developed. So it's like it's like hosting your like you host your website, you have a server where you host your website so that it's available 24/7. Similar to that, Tableau server is like is a hosted environment where you push all your Tableau dashboard so that users anywhere in the world can go and access it. The difference between Tableau server and Tableau online is like Tableau server, it has to be installed as a software package, but Tableau online is like the cloud version of this software, so that you do not need to install anything and everything can be done on the cloud, which has been recently launched by Tableau. Uh, and again, it also offers integrations with common statistical tools like R and Python. Uh, I haven't worked with R and the R algorithms or Python within Tableau, but then yeah, they do have a lot of customizations around that. And Tableau Public is like a free software that anybody can download but the only constraint is that you can only work with a CSV files or a text files. You cannot connect to any other source tools to do your analysis. So that's the drawback of Tableau Public. Whereas Tableau Desktop is like it's a licensed software tool that you download, and you will be able to connect it to multiple data sources. So any questions here before I move ahead?
All of these are licensed, right?
Except for Tableau Public, Dennis, all others are licensed.
Okay. But
Anand, have you heard about KNIME? There's one tool that was introduced recently. KNIME, KNIME.
I've heard, but I've just heard that name. Yeah, it's
Okay,
an
fine.
open source tool, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I just know because I was just going through, but I know but I haven't worked on it. But yeah, it's an open source tool.
it might be similar to the Apache Superset. That's also that open source V8 tool, right?
Right.
There is one question in the comment. Is SQL required to run Tableau?
So SQL is not a mandatory thing. As I will show in the demo, I will not use any SQL. I will be directly using the data as is and doing some visualizations. But yeah, if you want to create, if you want like multiple data sources and you want to join those data sources, then yeah, SQL is kind of required because you have to write some logic over there. But it is not a mandatory thing to write SQL in Tableau. Any other questions?
No, I think we can move ahead.
Okay, I'll move it. So this is like an architecture of Tableau. I've kind of simplified this. I don't want to show all the different software that like the layers in the architecture. So I have just because of this purpose of this session, I'm just simplifying all of that architecture into this slide. So as I told, like this is your data sources. So your data sources can be a text file, CSV, or any RDBMS tools like Oracle or SQL Server, or you can use cloud DBs like Amazon Redshift or DynamoDB, or there are a lot of cloud DBs as well, and then you can use NoSQL databases as well, like DynamoDB. So Tableau Desktop is like the software that I was telling that you have to download on your machine, and it will give you the flexibility to connect to any of these data sources and build your visualizations. Then once you build your visualization, you will publish those dashboards onto your, either it's a Tableau server or it's Tableau public or it's Tableau online. And then once it is published over there, then you can access them either from your mobile or desktop or laptop. So this is like a typical architecture of Tableau. So it essentially has a desktop and a server. Now server is where you do all the management of using accessing user access to the dashboards. Then if you want to refresh your data sources, you want to create different sites. Like sites is a concept where you create different projects within the Tableau server, and each site will have their own respective dashboards, and then you manage your licenses. So these are all the activities that is from administration standpoint that the Tableau server will doing. Tableau Desktop will only be doing the work of building your visualizations, connecting to data sources, and build the dashboards. So this is about the Tableau architecture. Now after this, I'll be moving into the hands-on demo. So before I go there, any questions on any of the slides that I covered so far?
So Anand, these visualizations in Tableau, they are not from Tableau Desktop per se. Are they only coming from like either server or public or online?
So Tableau Desktop has the charts inbuilt in them. So you can select any chart that you want to build, and then you have to provide all the dimensions and measures for that. So Tableau Desktop has the charts embedded within them. Again, Tableau Online is like a cloud version of that. So you build your dashboards on the cloud and you publish them on the cloud. You don't need to have a software installed. That's the only difference between Tableau Online versus Tableau Desktop. Rest all functionalities remains the same.
Okay. So this Tableau Public also, they can stand as like an independent application without Tableau Desktop, or?
Yeah, even Tableau Public, like again, a Tableau Public has two things. So you download the software version, which is again a free downloadable version, and it is like Tableau Desktop, but it is called as Tableau Public. And then there is a Tableau Public server associated with it, which is free of cost. So anybody can create an account and then publish their dashboards, which anybody else can see. So it's an openware, server. So that is somewhere if anybody wants to practice developing dashboards, you can use this Tableau Public. It is a software where you download and build your dashboards, and then so Tableau Public, as the name mentions, it has two components: the desktop version and the server version. So, but both are called as Tableau Public. So just to avoid the confusion, I wanted to highlight this.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions before I go to the hands-on?
We can move on. Yeah.
I'll take it as a no. Let me just stop sharing and I'll. Can I not share my whole desktop because it's always ask me to share certain applications.
It is possible. You can share the list.
Okay, because it is. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we can see
Yes, we
the
can.
browser.
Okay. My bad. I was selecting an application rather than this. So.
Recording
So, this is the link where you need to go and download the Tableau desktop software. So, tableau.com/product/trial. So this Tableau desktop has a 14-day trial version which you can use, and after that, you either you buy a license and use it, or what you do is another trick is that you give any other different email ID and then download it again. So in this business email, you can give any of your email IDs. I have already done this step, so I'm not going ahead. You give any email ID and just click on this download free trial. It will download a software on your machine, which you need to just install, and that will have your Tableau desktop set up on your machine. Okay. Then once you do it, and an icon will come like this, Tableau 2020.3. So you just need to double click on this, and it will open up a screen like this. So now, if you okay, so now the dashboard that I'm going to create is on the COVID-19 dashboard. So the data set that I'm going to use is from the EU Open Data portal. So if anybody wants this link, how should I share this link? Is there a chat version here?
You
can share in the comment.
In the comment or in the Telegram group also you can.
Yeah, you just
okay, I'll send it in the Telegram group.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fine.
I'll share in the Telegram group. So this is like an open source data. So they keep on updating the COVID-19 data over here. So what I did is I went to this site and I downloaded the file. Okay, it's a CSV file. I've already downloaded it, so I'm not going to download, but I just wanted to share that this is the data I'm going to create a dashboard on. So now I have the data and I have the software. Now I'm just opening the software. I just wanted to show how it looks like. So here you will see like all the different options: file, data, server, help, and here, it tells you to connect to what you want to connect to Tableau server, or you connect to a file. So there are the different here. There are different files that you can connect to. So it gives Excel, text, JSON, Access, PDF, spatial DB, statistical files, or you can connect to a database. So if you can see, as I was telling earlier, these are all the different databases that Tableau has connectivity with. So I think most every major database is covered here. I don't think anything is like left out. But if anything is left out, they have given an option to create a ODBC or JDBC connection separately that you can connect to those softwares if it is not mentioned in this list. So as you can see, it has pretty much a lot of heavy database that you can connect to. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to a text file. So I'll just click on this, and what it does is it will give you the browse screen. So I just select, this is the download data that I have downloaded from that Open Data Hub. So I just clicked on that. Now, as soon as you click on that, right, Tableau automatically creates all these things that you are seeing here. Now, just to tell you what all these things are, just as explain. So what you see on the left hand side is nothing but the connections. So right now you made a connection with using a text file, so it is telling you the text file, and then this is like the whatever the name of the file is that I selected, this is what it is showing here. And here again, this is the name of the connection that if you can edit it and give it any name that you want. So for now we can just keep this as is. Here it is the data that has been pulled in. So this is called as the SQL viewer, where you can either use the data as is or you join multiple tables and build relationships between them. But I do not want that because my data does not, like, it has everything that I need to work with. So I'm not going to join with any other data set or data table. And this below what you're seeing is like the data viewer, where it shows you what is the data looks like, and it is just showing you the first 1,000 rows. You can change it to I think to max limit is some 10,000 rows, but that's fine. We'll just keep it to 1,000 rows. And below it is showing you all the columns that it was able to import. So we see there is a date column, day column, month, year, number of cases, number of deaths, countries, GeoID. I think this is like the short form of the countries. This is like the total population of the data. This is the name of the continent, and this is like I don't know, some statistical measure it is which we will not be using, but like here you can see all the data is there. And one more important thing about Tableau is it auto detects the data type of the columns that it is trying to ingest. So how do you know that? You can see that in these icons over here. So here if you see, it is taking it as a date column. So you see COVID-19 dot date. Here it is taking it as a day column. Here it is taking as a month, as a year. So it is taking it as like this column. It means it's a numeric value. This ABC means it's a string value. This sign means it's a spatial. Like it is taking it as a geographical data type. And then you always have the flexibility to change it. So what you need to do is just click here, and then it will tell you if you, let's say you want to change it from date to string or boolean or date time, you can change it. But essentially Tableau is good enough to identify what the individual date the data looks like. So it was able to decipher that for me. Now there is a sort field option here, so it is telling you like what do you want to sort with. You want to sort with whatever the data that came in, or you want to sort it from A to Z. So A to Z means it checks for the column names, and then whichever column in the A to Z alphabetical order, it will sort in that way. You want to do from Z to A. So these options are given by Tableau that it automatically sorts that. So right now I'm just doing A to Z for now. So by the alphabetical order of the column names, it has sorted it. Any questions so far before I go ahead?
And can we add like multiple CSV files in the connections?
Yes, you can you can create multiple CSV files and then you can join those.
Okay, joining and all. So
Yeah,
if we need to
yeah, you
perform
can do
some
that.
aggregation and all, that is possible.
Yes, you can do that.
Okay.
But right now, at least like for part of this demo, I'm not adding because this data set is itself good.
Yeah.
Okay, and now you see there are like is a connection option which says live and extract. So what it means is live means generally live is something where you want the dashboard to always be connected to the data source and giving you the latest data. If that again it depends on the business requirement. If your business requirement tells that I want to have always live data or the latest data set, I will go ahead with live data, but uh, it is dependent on the use case. But generally, we prefer the extracts. So extracts, what it does is it will create an extract of whatever the data has been generated over here, and then that will be pushed to the Tableau server when you are publishing this dashboard. So like you have this .csv, .txt, and all these files, Tableau has an extension called as .hyper. So when you click on this extract, it will say that extract will be include all data. So what it does it, and when I go to the when I start to create the dashboards, it will first tell me that where do I want to save this extract. So just if I just click on this sheet 1, it will first tell me that where do I want to as I said Tableau data extract, and it is has a uh, uh, extension of .hyper. So I will just save this. So it will go ahead and save that file. So now whatever the data I'm working with is I'm just going back, it is going to be that extract, not a live connection. Now, and you see this something called as filters over here. So this filter is for us to restrict the data from the beginning itself. So let's say this is the COVID-19 data and I'm interested in not all the countries of COVID, I'm only interested in India. So what I can do is you can just click on this add filter and click on this add button, and it will tell on which filter you want to do that selection. So I will say countries and territories. I'll click on OK. Now it is giving me all the options that is present from this. So I'll select I want to only filter India. So I'll click on this India. I'll click on OK, and once I click on this, now you see the data comes only for India. So I have restricted it before itself, before I'm doing the dashboard, so that I am working with only the data that I am interested in. So again, this is something which we generally don't use unless there is a very specific requirement that you filter out data beforehand. But this is something feature which Tableau provides. So I just wanted to highlight that. For now, I'm just going to remove this condition and insert everything. So is this like till we are fine here? Yeah, Dennis.
Yeah, so between live and extract connection, the difference is like, would making it an extract connection be faster?
Yes, extract would be very faster because there is no dependency of doing the connect. So there is always a lag when you connect to a data source and fetch from there. Instead of an extract, it is like extract is something like an in-memory.
Right.
It is in memory of the tool, so it can automatically fetch it from there directly.
Okay, so the live connection means, so if it is a CSV file, the live connection means it is still fetching the records from the disk, not from the memory.
Yeah, not from the memory. It's not in memory. It is from the disk it is taking. So that will take more time. So generally, we do not recommend this approach unless there is a requirement from the client that he wants always the latest data set.
Okay, okay.
Any other questions before I move ahead? Okay, I'll take it as a no. So now here you see, it always showed me like sheet 1 and then there are like these 3 options. So this worksheet, consider like, whenever you are creating a chart, you will always create it in this worksheet. This dashboard is like you are, it's a place where you combine all your worksheets or all your charts that you have created into one place. And this story means these different dashboards that you created. Let's say you created 4 dashboards and each dashboard has 4 charts. So the story is place where you build, become, give, combine all the dashboards together and show it in one as one story. So depending on your use case, you can use either the story or dashboard. So right now for our use case, we will first start with a worksheet where I'll create a chart, and then I will combine all those charts in in a dashboard and show it how it looks like. So I'll just go to the sheet. So now in this sheet, there are certain things I wanted to highlight first. So you see there are some columns over here which is coming at the top, and then there are some columns that are here, they are coming at the bottom. So what Tableau is doing is it is identifying what is a dimension and what is a measure. So right now, whatever you're seeing at the above this, these are all been treated as dimensions by Tableau, and whatever has been shown here, this is called as measures. So if you feel that any of these values is not, should be a dimension or should be a measure, so you can just convert them. So let's say if I feel that it is not a dimension, I can just go and convert it to a measure. But I know it's a dimension because a year is like I want to filter it on here, so I'll just keep it here. But I'm just saying that in any case, if you want to have that flexibility, you can do that. Is this clear? This part clear? Like the dimension and measures? Okay, I'll take it as a yes. And then here, if you click, see there is a show me button. When you click on this, these are the different charts that Tableau provides you to create. So based on what type of requirement you want to have, you can create like those charts. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to create I want to create a map chart. I want to see the number of cases worldwide, how it is going to be. So now how do I do that? So first thing what I want to do is I have this country, like if you see there is a latitude and longitude that is auto generated. Now how did it auto generate? Because we had a column called as country territory code, which was a spatial data type. It was able to get the latitudes and longitudes for those. So this Tableau does automatically on its own. So what I'll do is I'll just paste this latitude and longitude. Now I have the latitude and longitudes, and what I'll do is I will keep the I'll just drag this to color and then say sum of cases, and here I'll just click on this map chart. So now so now if I have to see the just 1 second. Just a moment. I'm not sure why is it not able to show it. Okay. Okay, now it has come. I don't know why it took so much time, but this is what I was expecting. So now if you see there are like these like dots coming in. So based on the latitude longitude, it was able to like as the larger the size of the dot. So if you can see USA is showing at it has 7.9 million cases, like as compared to India, which has 7.3 million cases. So on and so forth. So depending on each of the dots, you can see the data. But I generally prefer seeing in a colored format, so it gives a better representation. So the darker the color, the more the cases are there, and lighter the color, lesser the cases are there. So this is like a very like simple way of creating a map chart here. You just push the latitude longitude, and then you have the sum of cases, because you have to sum it up, and then you add the country territory code over here. So uh, any questions on this? This is like very simple way of having this map chart.
Anand, when we use maps, one problem that we come across is Indian map is not actually shown any of this in the correct form. So is there any way to fix it?
You are saying Indian map is not showing correctly within India. You are saying.
No, that means I am not talking about the data, but the geographic boundaries. That
Uh, I think this is like as per the latest map of India only, because I see this Kashmir has been changed now. It was not earlier like this. So I think it is taking the as per the geographic boundaries. It is correct. I feel.
Are you talking about this state boundaries or?
no. I was talking about the Kashmir issue because I was trying to plot in Python with the Plotly and other all. So this problem was there.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you mean we need to have that Kashmir?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
POK part and that. So I was checking whether this comes with the correct description.
This is also not
I think
really
from me
exactly correct.
looks
No, because the actually the
not
right
exactly,
side
but
toward the
Yeah,
China
not
part is
exactly.
actually there. China
Yeah.
part is not correct.
So Anand, what is happening is this Kashmir's there are some conflict areas, right? Like POK and
right.
East Bengal. Yeah, they are actually not shown in this. I think most of the international maps they do show it like this only.
Yeah, that's the main problem when we try to do something from India. Anyway, just asked. I had this problem with Python.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you like yeah, I think Tableau by like having its own internal database, it might have plotted like this, but yeah, I don't think we can change this. So yeah, I'll just in the interest of time, I'll just wanted to move forward. So now this is like first sheet which I will say like uh, cases worldwide. So I can just name the sheet as well. Now next sheet what I'll do is I will see the top 10 countries where the COVID cases are there. So for this what I'll do is, since I want to see but the countries, I will select the uh, countries and then the number of cases over here. So now you know uh, you are seeing this so you are seeing this bar chart. So here you can directly sort the data in the ascending or descending order. That options are given over here: sort ascending or descending. I'll just sort in descending. Now, as I said, I want to create top 10 countries. I don't want to see all these. So there is a concept called as sets in Tableau where you can create set and then apply the set to this data so that it will select only the top 10 countries. So the way we do is, from there is an option over here called as create, uh, create calculate. Sorry, what you need to do is you have to click on this uh, uh, column on which you want to create the set and then drop it, and then there will be called as create and then an option called as set. So now what I want to do is, it says general condition and top. So I'll just select top. I'll say top 10, and then it is saying it's already giving me what I want. So you, on this column, I want to do top 10 by sum of cases. So that's what I want. So I'm just keeping this date column selections as is, and now it created a set to me. Now I just need to drag this set into this filter selection, and it will automatically filter the data out for me in the by top 10. So so this is, a way that you can create a top 10, bottom 10, top 5, or whatever you want to create filters. So I'm just naming this as, top 10 con, con, countries by cases. Now I want to create top 10 countries by deaths. Now the way I'll do it is, again, I'll create another sheet. I will use this countries and territories as my dimension. I will use the deaths instead of the cases. I will have the sum of deaths. Then what I will do is I'll sort it in the descending order, and then I will create one more set. I cannot use the same set because this set was on the cases. So I'll click on this dimension, create a set. I'll go here. So now it is saying top 10 by deaths. So since I created it, I use the measure as that, so it used that by default. So now this created that top 10 by death. So I just drag it. So now if you see, United States is the highest by death, followed by Brazil and India and so forth. So this way you can create multiple like sets based on your requirement. So here I'll just mention this top 10 countries by death. So now I'll be creating one more which is not there in this dataset, that is called as mortality rate. So now mortality rate is number of deaths divided by number of active cases. So I'll just naming this sheet as mortality rate. Now I'm going to do this mortality rate not just for one country, but for all the countries. So what I have to do is, I know the formula, but I have to apply that. So Tableau gives us a function called as calculate field, wherein we can create our own our own field. So when you click on this drop down here, it says create calculated field. Now I will say this as mortality rate, and here on the right hand side, these are all the different functions that Tableau provides us, and if you click on any of the function, it will give a definition of what that function does. So here for me it is straightforward. I have to do sum of deaths. So Tableau kind of gives me the values as I type in them, divided by sum of cases. Now I clicked on OK, and now the mortality rate has come. So now I just dragged it over here. Now you see the rate has come, but let's say it is showing as 0.028, but I do not want to see like this. I want to see it as a percentage. So what we can do is, we can go ahead and change the properties of that. So what I'll do is, you can right click on this, and you can click on change default property, go to default properties, and then number format, and then since it is by default selected automatically, you can select percentages, and when I click on this, it will give 2.82%. So this way I can create the mortality rate. So now next thing I'll do is, similarly I'll just select create one more sheet called as total cases. So here I do not need anything, I just need the sum of all the cases. So, and what I do is, I can go ahead and, so by default it is giving me this bar chart, but I can go ahead and select this text file. So this is like a right representation of how I have to show it. So this is the number of total cases, uh, and then I'll create one more called as total deaths, which is again I'll just drag this over here and change it to a text file format, so there is total deaths. So now I have some considerable information that I have by which I can create a dashboard. So to do this, as I was saying, you need to click on this icon which says new dashboard. So when you click on this, now it shows you all the sheets that you have created till here. So these are all the sheets that you have created, and then it is saying what is that size, like for which type of client you are creating. Are you creating it for a browser, for a web page, for a blog? So depending on that, it is giving this no sizes, or you can click on this custom size and give your own size. That is flexibility given by Tableau. So for now, I'm just keeping this as is in the interest of the demo. Now what I'll do is I'll just no drag this data here. So now this is something that has come along with it. So this is nothing but it is telling that which is the lowest value that it was able to find, which is the highest value it was able to find. So this is something I do not require, so I can just ignore this for here from here. Then secondly, I'm seeing the total top 10 countries. So whenever you drag drop, right, it tells you how you want to align it horizontally, vertically. So I'm just aligning it in this fashion. And then I want to see total cases. So I'll just show total cases on top and then followed by total deaths and mortality rates. So this way you can, this is in the interest of time. I just created the sample dashboard to show how it, looks like. So this is like your dashboard you have created, and what I'll do is I'll just create it automatic so it looks good. And so yeah, this is like the dashboard that you can publish to your pub, or if you have a server, you can publish it over there, and then depending on any of the other use cases, you can create different charts. So for this demo, this is what I had to present. I know I'll been a little fast here, but I just wanted like next 5 minutes we have. So any questions or anything people want to ask, like, we can go ahead with that.
Anand, when you say you can publish this dashboard, is that through a web browser?
No, you can directly publish. So if there is a server option on here. So when you click on this, there are like two options. Either you sign in, which is you sign into your private Tableau server, or you sign into Tableau public. So you can publish it directly to Tableau public. And here also, but when you want to publish it, you have to have an account created, which is a free account. You just create an account and give your email address and password and sign in. You will be able to publish this.
Okay, so anybody with that link can see the dashboard that you have created then.
Yes. So the only thing is this is open to anybody. Anybody can see this. It's not like only you can see it. Anybody can see it. So that's why it's called as Tableau Public. But yeah, if you have a dedicated project, and so then you would have a server created, and then you sign in over there. You have to give your server URL over here. Click on then connect. And as I said, there is an option of Tableau Online. You can click on that as well, and it will take you to that Tableau Online website where you can again log in and publish your dashboard. So you can tap. So there are multiple ways to publish, but yeah, for free use, you can just create a account on Tableau Public Online, and then just go to server, go to Tableau Public, and then open from Tableau Public. It will publish your dashboard over there. Any other questions?
We can download this like pictures or something like that also.
Uh, from here you are saying, or you are saying can we add pictures? You can add pictures. There is an option
No,
called
I
as
mean,
image.
No, he's
if I
asking
want,
whether we can export images for.
Yes, you can export. Yes, you can export this. Once you have published this, there is an option where you can export it to into a. But again, that is something which has to be provisioned from the server that you are allowed to download. So when you download it, it kind of you can download it as an CSV export,
okay.
the whole backend data for. So let's say I want to download for this. So you can download like just this as a CSV export.
Now, what about the bar plot alone? Can we do that? So if I want,
Not the chart, but then you can download it as a PDF.
as a PDF, okay.
That option is there.
Okay.
Other questions, please?
Yeah, we have 2 minutes. Any other questions anybody has?
I think I can ask one more question. This might be stupid. This is like a, so do you consider Excel as a BI tool or no?
For some, it is a BI tool. So uh, anything that is able to give you meaningful insights, I would say it's a BI tool.
Okay. But you have not
I think a lot
included
of
the
business
intelligence,
users
right?
use that Excel. They are very comfortable with Excel, and they like, yeah, it has very basic charts, but then they are able to use the formulas within Excel and have some visualizations. So
Okay. I think one question
yeah, we had yep.
in the chat I can see like are there maps for Kerala within Tableau? Would that be available?
Indian states.
Yeah, state-wise.
Within states, I haven't done that, but I can check and get back to you.
In
Because for
Plotly it is
states, you would need to you have to bring in that data set at that state level, at the latitude longitude level of the state. I think
I think
if
need to have
we have that data, it can, yeah.
Are there plugins to this
Uh,
Tableau, like for this kind of
Tableau
thing?
doesn't have its own, so you need to like we have this data, right? You have to have some open source data of your state and your corresponding cities and their lat longs. So then if you have that data, then you can ingest, and I think Tableau should be able to show that data. Because as I was seeing here, if I just zoom out, it is deciphered the state boundaries as well. So since this data doesn't have at the state level, it is not showing. But I feel if you have the data at your state level, you will should be able to see it.
so we just need to have the manual geocoding.
Yeah, yeah, geocoding. Yeah.
Suresh was asking about plugins, right?
Yeah, like is there any plugin like that so we can get this kind of information easily, like say the information about the
Uh,
districts or whatever is.
See, there are no plugins directly, but definitely if you have any, like if you don't want to do any manual effort, you have any websites, you can connect to browser, like websites as well from Tableau, and then download data from and like connect to that data source and see how it looks like. That is one option that can be done.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Can you use the vector data files which is used in GIS? No, because these
Vector
are
data,
applicable to Kerala and sub-districts level and all.
is it similar to this spatial file or is it completely different?
Actually, a spatial file, but it can be opened in a GIS software like QGIS or ArcGIS. because such files are widely available in the internet.
Yeah, maybe if we can just go to that slide where you showed all the databases which it will collect, maybe you'll have the answer there.
I think it is in that
So
spatial
these are
file.
all the traditional databases, but I'm not sure if vector would come here. That's why I was asking if it is similar to a spatial file. These are all the traditional databases that is being used.
Yeah, I think this is not the one,
No,
right?
I can see there is ESRT ArcGIS server under Dropbox.
This one?
Yeah. Is it something?
Okay, is this what you are referring to?
Yeah, that is GIS thing.
Because
Yeah,
I
but I
like
think
I'm not familiar, but if you
that
sorry.
Hari's question, it will be in that spatial file section.
Yeah, most probably these are spatial files. No, because these are readily available for that district and the state and all.
Yeah, so you can see the file types there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
GeoJSON is there.
Is there any other file type here?
yeah, SH,
GeoJSON is there. I think.
GeoJSON is
SH,
there.
yeah, this is SHP. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, so if it is yeah, then you
Yeah,
should be able to ingest, because if it is showing here, it means it is
yeah,
able to
that
ingest.
is ESRI shapefiles. ESRI is the company that makes ArcGIS and all. That should be GIS files.
Yeah, that you can see also ESRI ArcGIS server as
Yeah,
a
yeah,
data source.
yes. And then that should
Yeah,
be.
it's there in search option. Spatial files.
Yeah, spatial files are there. Oh, a lot of
Yes.
files are types are there.
Since you know about these things, you can experiment and tell us the result.
Yeah,
Yes.
Hari should try with it and tell us.
Okay. Is any other questions?
I think no other questions, and so thank you, Anand, for the wonderful session, and I hope people can play around with it, and I hope you will share the links and that you mentioned about
Yes.
during the presentation to the
Yeah, I
Telegram
will
group.
share it in the Telegram channel.
Yeah.
Yes, sure.
So that group is an active group where we share everything from codes and resource materials and all. So thank you very much once again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and anybody has any questions, yeah, do reach out to me from Telegram.
Yeah. Also, if
message
you got
me
some other if you got some other technologies which you want to introduce to this audience, please do
yeah,
it.
let me know if you guys are interested, because like from my side, I said like I am mostly on AWS cloud. Then there's ETL technologies, Informatica, data stage, then ClickSense, ClickView, Spotfire. So Python, I believe that all you guys are statisticians, so you should be knowing much more than I do. So, but yeah, all
We
these
are
other technologies,
we are
if you
we are
guys know.
we are not all statisticians. Some of us we doesn't even know how to spell it, but we are a very